Welcome to Real Talk Fitness with ANPT. I'm your host Ashleigh Cumins, founder of ANPT. Here we keep it real with honest, no fluff conversations about fitness and nutrition and how to build a healthier, stronger version of you. Whether you're just starting out or leveling up your journey, you're in the right place. Let's dive in for episode 3. Have you ever thought, I'll be happy when I lose 10 kilos, or I'll be happy when I get a promotion, only to hit those milestones and feel unfulfilled? Imagine your 60-year-old self looking back. What would you regret more? Not achieving the next goal quickly, or not enjoying times with your friends and family or yourself? Don't wait for someday to be happy. The time to enjoy your life is now. The phrase, I'll be happy when, is a consistent hamster wheel. Round and round and round you go. This phase or phrase often seems harmless, but it's a trap that reinforces that belief that who you are right now isn't enough. Today we're going to dive into how it's damaging, and I'm going to speak from personal experiences and get really down to the nitty-gritty about how this affects you. The problem with constantly moving that goalpost, it's affecting your mental health more than you realize. An example of that, when you tie happiness to future achievements, we train our brain to postpone the feeling of joy. I'll relax when I hit the target X, Y, and Z. I'll spend more time with family once I finish this big project. The problem, there's always another target, another project, and the cycle never ends. This brings me back to tying the last 2 episodes of time. We assume we have more time to enjoy life later. The cost of this is always looking forward. We miss the now, the moments you can never get back. When we're 60 and we reflect back on our life, 60, 70, 80 years old, what are you going to remember? The moments of laughing with your kids, shared dinners with your friends, or the feeling of accomplishment after a hard day's work? The things that we think matter most now won't matter when we're 60, 70, 80 years old. A quote I read that hit home really hard: it's not the size of the house we'll remember, but it's the conversations that we had in it. Always focusing on what's next blinds us to the simple daily pleasures, times with loved ones, a beautiful sunset, or even the satisfaction of small wins each day. I'm going to talk to you from personal experiences. This year mentally crushed me. I feel I woke up and my boys are 7 and almost 4. I constantly move the goalpost. I never stop to realize and look back at everything that I've achieved, to the point where mentally it's put me in the darkest place I've ever been, because I was on this hamster wheel. I'll be happy when I achieve this. As soon as I get a glimpse of achieving it, I move that goalpost. I'll relax more. I'll work less once I achieve this. This never happens, to the point where my happiness has suffered. I look back and I have not enjoyed the process. I built this business from the ground up, and I look back and I don't even remember it. I don't even remember celebrating all the small wins or the lives that I've been able to help, all the things that I've missed out on with my kids because of that next project. My health, my strength, It's not until I've hit this point of mental breakdown where I can't seem to put on weight and it's affecting my strength, it's affecting my training. I never appreciated what I had because I was constantly living in the next thing, moving that goalpost. That fear that I would become complacent within myself, that if I didn't have another project to work towards, that I would become complacent, I would lose my drive. But that's not the case. I've missed out on all the simple things. My kids are not going to remember the success that I had within my business. They're going to remember whether mum was there or not. My health. I'm not going to remember the struggles, the hard times. I've never stopped to enjoy my personal health successes because I'm constantly moving that goalpost. What I think is enough is never enough. So when I get that goal, I don't take that time to enjoy it. So what I want you guys to do from today is get off that hamster wheel. When we're 60, 70, 80 years old and we look back at our life, I want you guys to be happy now. Don't get to the point I got to this year of complete, utter burnout. I'm still there now. Take away all these achievements. I don't know who I am because I have not enjoyed the little things in life, the little things that really matter. Material items, you don't take to the grave with you. Memories, you do. Memories leave footprints in other people's minds when we go. We don't have time. We constantly are on this hamster wheel. I'll be happy when. And when we look back, everything that we thought would fulfill that happiness doesn't, because we don't allow it. We don't allow ourselves to stop and appreciate everything that you've got. Moving the goalpost constantly affects your mental health more than you'll ever realize. Something I'm still discovering, and you guys can join me along this journey. Define what enough looks like. Clarify your goals and ask yourself, at what point will I feel satisfied? What does success mean to me? In this thing called life, there is no right or wrong. There is no rule book. Nobody can tell you that your view on what success means to you is right or wrong. We constantly chase satisfaction from external factors that we're forgetting about within. Personally, I know the fear of stopping to enjoy these moments, that I'll lose my drive. That drive defines me and who I am. But this also has stopped me from knowing who I truly am. Take all of this success and achievements away. Who am I? I want you to ask yourself, what does success mean to you? Don't wish it upon anybody to get to the darkest place that I got, constantly moving that goalpost. Yes, I could write an A4 page of everything that I've achieved and everything that I keep continually doing or adding. That dopamine chase, that achieving my goals, that temporary dopamine boost, a feel-good hit. But that feeling fades quickly and I'll set the next benchmark. Next minute, you blink, there goes 5 years, and you've never really appreciated the moment or your achievements. Let's get off that hamster wheel. Contentment doesn't equal complacency. Something I've written, and when I journal every single day, is being content with where I am and who I am doesn't mean I'm going to become complacent with my goals. I still have goals. I still set goals. But I also need to allow myself to enjoy those goals, enjoy those moments. As I said, when we're in the nursing home and we're talking with all of our friends, are we going to remember those materialistic items that we chased? Are we going to remember those achievements? Some of them we will. But when we talk about them, you want to enjoy the moments and the feelings rather than just setting the next one. Chasing goals without pausing to enjoy the present creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. If we always tie happiness to the next achievement, we'll look back one day and regret not appreciating it. I feel this hit hard for me this year. Over the last 3 years of moving the gym, it's all a blur. My first child started his first year of school, second year of school. My baby almost turns 4. So many moments that I look back that's a blur. I constantly tied my happiness to my next achievement rather than appreciating the now. I often ask myself a question that you're probably thinking: why do we keep moving the goalpost? The dopamine chase. I spoke about it in episode 2, how our brains are wired for reward. This cycle is we set in a goal, we achieve it, we get a little dopamine boost, but the feeling fades quickly. Then we shift to the next big milestone, thinking it'll bring us happiness. The cycle then continues. This life that we live right now is not given. I learned this, again, I'm speaking a lot of personal experiences, speaking from the heart, is that my dad was taken away from me at a very young age, which made me realize that life is precious. Does it mean that it stopped me on this hamster wheel? No, but it also put a halt on it and made me realize that I'm never satisfied. I've never experienced true happiness because I'm constantly saying, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll spend more time with my family when. What about right now? Right now is what matters. Today, the moments that we're in right now is what matters. Going back to what I said before, doesn't mean you're going to become complacent. You can still be driven. You can still be successful. Learn to enjoy it. Stop wishing for that next thing. It's like a monotonous treadmill that goes around and around and around and around. I'll be happy when you achieve it. But that sense of fulfillment isn't there. Why? Because you're not allowing yourself to feel true happiness. You think your happiness is tied to a materialistic item. It's tied to the feeling of seeing a number on the scale, a feeling of lifting a certain amount on the barbell, a feeling of buying a house. These are all materialistic items. They might bring us joy, but they do not create happiness from within. Learning to enjoy the journey and be truly happy within the moments is true happiness. The most happiest people out there, when I went to Fiji almost 10 years ago, they have nothing, and they're truly happy. This makes you realize that all these things that we're chasing are materialistic items. They do not bring us happiness. They might give you a little bit of dopamine fix, but that's not going to bring you true happiness. Your true happiness starts from within. defining what a successful, meaningful life means for you. It might mean being truly healthy and being consistent with your training, turning up every day. Yes, you still have a goal of hitting that goal weight, but you learn to enjoy the journey. You'll learn to be happy with your little achievements. And that equals success. The results will come. This doesn't mean that you're complacent. This doesn't mean that you're driven. This doesn't mean that you won't get there. It means that you're going to enjoy the journey and be truly happy. And when you look back at your life, yes, you achieved all those goals, but whilst you achieved them, you experienced true happiness. We live in a world that's filled with so much on social media, whether you choose to admit it or not. Social media and society glorify success and milestones, making us feel like we need to constantly keep up. You look around at the people you follow. This is food for your mind. Everything that you follow, look at, read, is feeding your mind. And even I can say, I look at some people achieving it and go, I can do that. So I move that goalpost again, not taking into consideration of anything that's going on in their life. Something that I shared the other day is nobody shares their failures until they're successful. And that really hit. Nobody sees how many times that they failed until they became successful. Nobody posts about their journey along their way until they've had success. Just remember, everything that you watch is feeding your mind, and it's robbing you of your true happiness. Because not one person in this world is the same. Not one person's circumstances are the same. 90% of us lack gratitude for right now. 2 years ago, as my mental health started to decline before it hit complete rock bottom this year, I learned that when you experience a feeling of gratitude, you can no longer feel stressed at the same time. I always start my journey with what I'm grateful for. Start the day with looking at all the things that I'm grateful for, all the things that I have, not all the things that I don't have. Because we are truly lucky. And that alone should bring true happiness. Again, personal experiences speaking from the heart is, yes, it's helped me, but it's also helped me recognize this hamster wheel that I've been on. And this hamster wheel that I've been on for the last 7 years, when I decided that I would work for myself completely, has just gotten faster and faster and faster. In that time, as I look back, I go, wow, like I have achieved a lot. And not once did I sit there and allow myself to enjoy that feeling, because I moved that goalpost. How does moving the goalpost constantly affect your mental health? First and foremost, it causes chronic stress and anxiety. Constantly striving for more keeps our brain in a state of stress, always feeling behind. Example, never celebrating our progress leads to burnout. Again, speaking from experience, guys, I personally have hit rock bottom. I ask myself daily at the moment, take away my business, take away me as a trainer, who am I? The never enough mindset, something I live in. Tying my happiness to external achievements. It makes us believe that who we are right now isn't good enough. Leads to low self-esteem, feeling of not enough and frustration. And then again, we set the goalpost a little bit further. We achieve it we get that feeling of dopamine, we do it again. And then the hamster wheel goes faster and faster. Imagine being 60 years old. I keep coming back to that because when I spoke about my first podcast, is that the average lifespan is 80 years old. So if you are 35, 40% of your life is gone. Imagine being 60, 70 and realizing you spent your whole life chasing goals and never enjoying the process. The things we think matter the most right now won't. We'll look back on them. We'll remember the moments, the journey, the experiences, the feelings, not the milestones. I ask myself daily how to stop doing this. How do you be happy within the moment? There's a feeling that comes up with me personally, you may be able to relate to it, is enjoying those moments makes me feel like I guess I'm up myself, that I'm better than other people. This is tied a lot to low self-esteem. I don't believe I deserve it. I don't feel adequate enough to have achieved that. And I believe this is tied a lot to constantly striving for more, constantly being in a state of stress. Practice gratitude. Again, going back to a couple of minutes ago when I said I started journaling myself, when I first put pen to paper, I was like, this is so retarded. I'm here with my own thoughts, my own feelings, and it was scary. Writing down, no one else reads it. I now have 3 or 4 books full, starting each day with gratitude. It shifts your mind from focusing on what you're missing to what you already have. I'll share with you today, I'm grateful for all of my achievements. I am grateful that I am enough, that I am genuinely a good person and I do care about other people. I'm grateful that I've recognized that looking after myself doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. I'm grateful I have the opportunity to change my mindset and it's not too late. I can enjoy the little things in life. Celebrate progress, not just outcomes. Instead of only celebrating an example of your weight loss, celebrate showing up each and every day for your workouts. Find joy in the process. Learn to appreciate the journey instead of obsessing over the destination. Enjoy the workout process rather than focusing on the end goal of the weight loss. This I'll be happy when, which is what today's episode is all about, is getting you guys to recognize this hamster wheel and join me on the journey of self-discovery. The I'll be happy when reinforces that we're not enough, the constant pursuit and the never arriving at our goal. When you tie happiness to a future goal like weight loss, a job, house, a relationship, you condition your mind to believe that you're only worthy or valuable once you achieve it. This creates a sense of inadequacy because no matter how much you achieve, you immediately set a new goal. Who you are versus what you do. Happiness tied to achievements becomes about what you do instead of who you are. Again, brings me back to that personal growth that I'm going through now, and you guys can join me along this journey. It's taking away what I do. I don't know who I am. An example of this, I'll be happy when I get a promotion. You reach it and suddenly the new belief is I'll be happy when I make 6 figures. the cycle continues. Your sense of self-worth becomes less because you start defining your value based on your external milestones. This leads to low self-esteem. As I was saying before about my personal journey, if you're constantly focusing on what's missing, you overlook your current strengths, progress, and qualities. Achievements become a condition for happiness instead of something to celebrate. You internalize the belief, I'm not enough yet, and I won't be happy until I become more. This leads to the comparison trap. Tying happiness to external outcomes often comes with comparing yourself to others. Example, they bought a house at 30, I'm still renting. What's wrong with me? Comparison amplifies feelings of inadequacy. Comparison is the thief of joy. How is this going to impact us long term? Over time, you become hypercritical of yourself, struggling to feel proud or content. Speaking from personal experience, people say all the time you should be so proud of everything you've achieved. I don't know how to be because I've constantly been on this hamster wheel. Your confidence suffers because nothing you do ever feels good enough. This creates the frustration and burnout, the never-ending chase. Moving the goalpost means you're always chasing the next thing. This creates an endless loop of effort with little reward. Even when you achieve something, the joy or the feeling is vastly gone because you've trained your mind to immediately focus on the next milestone. Burnout from overpressure. If you're listening right now, hands up if you feel that. I feel that on a deep level. When your happiness depends on reaching an external goal, the pressure to perform can be overwhelming. This can lead to overworking, stress, and burnout. You're constantly trying to prove your worth. A lot of you guys don't know that on a personal level. For me, because I believe I hide it pretty well. That statement there hits home. I'm constantly overworking, constantly leading to burnout until I hit rock bottom this year when I realized that my mental health is that bad that if I don't work on myself, everything that's led me to this point could be gone in a blink of an eye. That I have never been happy or proud of my achievements. I'm always chasing that next thing. Let's get off this hamster wheel together. The lack of fulfillment is another scenario of this hamster wheel. When you achieve something but still feel empty, it's because you've been neglecting internal fulfillment, gratitude, self-acceptance. Example, people who achieve their dream bodies but still struggle with confidence because the real issue isn't physical. They base their self-worth on how they look rather than how they feel. Let's redefine our happiness. Recognize your worth right now. You are enough as you are. Goals should add to your life, not define your worth. Our happiness comes from self-acceptance and enjoying the process, not just achieving the result. Celebrate progress over perfection. Focus on what you've already achieved instead of what's missing. Small wins are still wins. Give yourself the permission to acknowledge them. Example, I didn't hit my target weight, but I'm stronger, healthier, and more active than I was 6 months ago. Doesn't mean you get complacent with that goal, but you recognize the small wins. Find joy in the present moments. Be grateful daily. Train yourself to appreciate where you are now instead of constantly longing for more. Ask yourself, what do I have today that I once dreamed of? Detach your happiness from your external achievements. Shift your mindset. Instead of saying, I'll be happy when I succeed, say, I'm proud of myself for trying, growing, and showing up each day. Focus on internal growth. Prioritize how goals make you feel, not just the external reward of how you feel when you achieve them. Instead of chasing weight loss, focus on feeling stronger, healthier, being consistent, and more confident. And I can almost guarantee that when you focus on the process, the journey will be more enjoyable, less stressful, and you will achieve your goals. Referring back to episode 2 is 92% of people fail to go through with their goals. This is linked a lot with self-worth, and this is linked a lot to this episode. Enjoy the journey. It will make you appreciate the destination. That's a wrap for today's episode of Real Talk Fitness with ANPT. If there's one thing I want you to take away, it's this. Constantly moving the goalpost keeps you in a cycle of dissatisfaction. True happiness doesn't lie in the next achievement. It's found in learning to appreciate who you are and where you are right now. You are enough, even as you work towards becoming better. Don't wait for the perfect moment to be happy. Choose to find joy in the process, because this moment right now is your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might need a little extra motivation. You can follow me on Ashleigh Newburn's personal training for more tips, workouts, and inspiration. If you have any questions for today's episode, please feel free to reach out on social media. More than happy to answer some Q&As. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Real Talk Fitness with ANPT. Keep lifting, keep moving, and most importantly, keep it real. Until next time.